Computer. Lights.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. I am still suffering from my con crud that I got, but I think I'm getting over it, but it's doing the last holding on, dragging on sort of thing. So it's kind of driving me crazy here on this one, but I took NyQuil last night, so I'm suffering a little bit from that NyQuil hangover when you first wake up and you're like, brain's foggy. So that's where we are today. I'm foggy brained. So hopefully we'll be okay today and be able to do our normal stuff. Let's get our playlist running here. So that's where we are today. Today we have to do some work on grayscales. So manga is usually done in black and white, or gray, I guess. And the problem that I've got is looking at where we were on our original manga colors. The colors that we had chosen were kind of dark. And I felt like it would make all of the characters look super dark all the time. So we're going to go in here real quick. We're going to just some different shades of gray. So today is 50 Shades of Gray day. Okay. Okay. Our color codes here. First of all, let's go ahead and duplicate this layer a number of times so that we don't have to worry, or just at least once, so that we've got a master copy here. We're going to get this little section right here and delete it. Work. I'm not worried about. We just need an overview picture. So this is our rough picture we used before to indicate color codes when we were dealing with different things. So we've got our color codes here, which show kind of where we are with the uniforms. Oh man, I am not doing very well on the thinky process. The line uniforms, we'll grab just the colors from the line uniforms. Copy, paste. And the reserve, copy, paste. Okay. Now, according to where we are, the primary uniform color is not that. Don't see that's why we should be not asleep when we do these things. Right? There we go. All right, so and then for her secondary color, for her secondary color. Oops. Yeah, you know what? Well, this morning I'm kind of running slow. I'm still kind of suffering from a NyQuil hangover, and my brain's foggy. So, what I thought I would do, I had an idea last night, which was when we are at pages, right? We're working on just the normal pages here. What might be really useful is in this open space up in the upper left-hand corner to have these color splotches on the main section. So all I have to do whenever I'm coming up to put in color on the page is just right mouse click and tap the color splotches. Oh, come on. I can't say it. Swatches. They have a W. I don't know what my problem is. Anyway, swatches. Put swatches right up here so that all I have to do is tap the colors in the order of which I usually do, which is the main color of the uniform first, this color here, then any of the uniform's secondaries, and then skin tones as they need to be done, and yada, yada, yada. But then I was like, oh, but I think that the colors aren't going to look so good because they'll look too dark. But now I'm looking at them, I'm like, no, actually, they look kind of fine. I don't know what I'm worried about. I don't know. They look fine. And let's tone them to see what they kind of look like in tone. And they don't even look bad in tone either. I mean, right? I mean, things here either. Yeah, I'll get a little closer. It doesn't look so strange to you guys. But kind of looking at it in tone, even in tone, it looks fine. Right? So maybe it isn't bad. I don't know. I thought it was going to look strange, like you wouldn't be able to tell the difference in the uniforms and stuff, but no, actually it looks pretty solid. So I'm actually not. Thank you, Andrew. I'm not actually as worried, I guess, as I thought I was going to be. It's weird. I would have thought in tone this would have looked strange or something, but it's actually having, this is one of those have faith in what's going on, I guess. Because our colors look solid. The colors look pretty solid, I think, even though they're in black and white. So, Andrew and Brent, for those of you who are kind of wondering what's going on here, manga is generally done with the first 4 pages in color and the remaining pages in black and white. And so when I did my Star Trek manga back in the day, I had sort of set up 3 different tones for the yellow shirt and for the red shirt and for the blue shirt, so that they all looked different in gray. Because in real life, even though it was funny, when NBC went to color, they didn't color check the uniforms very well to see how they would look in black and white. They just, well, I guess the crew of the people who did Star Trek, so the red and the blue look very similar in black and white. So a lot of people had a hard time understanding, early on, that Spock was in a blue uniform and that Scotty was in a red uniform, and they had a hard time delineating those two. So when I went to make my manga in black and white, I wanted to make sure that you could delineate your engineering uniform from your sciences uniform. Well, now that I'm doing my own story with my own Yeah, that would be too easy. Well, and that's the thing. It's like, especially if you watch like the uniforms they're almost identical in black and white, but that was intentional. They had specifically put the stripes on the wrist to make it very, very clear. And that's why one of the reasons why Roddenberry and William Ware Tice and all of the guys who were working on it, they didn't really worry too much about colors in the very first in the cage. So the palette's very muted, because they figured they'd just make it look like a military ship and it would fit. And that worked. But then NBC said, hey, we're in color now. So let's do everything in color. And so they said, well, okay. So they just arbitrarily sort of picked yellow and red and blue because they were kind of primaries. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm still getting over this. So what I'm doing here is I'm again kind of matching it. I want it to look so that our line officers are obviously in a lighter color than our non-line officers who are going to be primary people. But we have one more set of officers that we've got to come up with, which is the mission specialists and the military or mission specialists and the the oh, for crying out loud, medical. So mission specialists, then we have those codes. They come out at a T4 as well, which is a little lighter than the T6. But I'm wondering if maybe we need those to be even lighter, like a T2. So I'm going to put those in here, and I'm going to tap in here on this. And we're just going to do Chang up here in mission specialist. And I did it again. I did this twice. Right here. There we go. So if we do, nope, this here, and then grab this color. Right, and then we're just going to go ahead and I think medical is just going to be white as far as this goes, and I just did that. Boy, I am definitely suffering from a NyQuil hangover. Ugh. Took NyQuil last night to make absolutely sure I slept. I know, Andrew. You feel me, bro. I know you feel me on sleep problems. Ugh. Okay, we're gonna do white. And we're just gonna go ahead and see what it looks like in pure white. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to move these guys over to here. I'm going to take these guys and bring them in and move them over to here so we can look at all four uniforms in the same spot. Okay, kind of looking at these, it actually looks better on my monitor up here than it does right here. My computer monitor, of course, is my drawing monitor is much more, not you, my drawing monitor is much more screen accurate than the monitor up here, color accurate. So, but I do sort of feel like I want to go up a step. Well, you know what? I can merge these down. Those. Merge those. And then check. Looking at this, then here. Yeah, I mean, I feel like I can go a half a step down, maybe, on this. half a step down further. So let's take this guy here and move him a half a step up, like to there, and see what we get. And see if that gets too close. To this white. Well, no, because in Zipatone, in the tone, it still has dots, whereas white won't. And the dots won't be as dense. Yeah, so I think that's what I'm going to do is go up about that half a step. So we're going to call this my new color on that color code. I'm Mission Specialist. I'm deselected. Call that one there, and I think that's closer to the T2. Let's give that a shot and see what T2 looks like. They're very warm, I'm noticing these colors. Weirdly warm. It's like being in a bathtub and weirdly warm. Okay. Now looking at this. Yeah, so I'm going to call it T2, which is not in fact referring to the Terminator. There we go. Okay, so this is where I think I'm going with this, and I'm just going to call it T2 on this one. So the way to do this is to take this T2 icon here and copy and paste him over so that he's in the Mission Specialist division color. There. So these are my main codes. These are my Marines over here and their code for their uniform. These are my Navy codes, and then these are all the people and their skin tones. So we haven't assessed all the codes for all the other characters yet. We'll have to do that. We've got a few of those characters coming in, but we don't need that for these first 12 pages that we're doing. So we've got 12 pages that we're rolling in on today. And I think I'm happy with these codes here. So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take, this is the master page. We're going to take these codes. And we're going to start with Navy uniforms, which is a T8. Just sit up here really high up. Line. So, Sarge, what I was talking about earlier was that the uniforms are, where did I put it? Where'd it go? Where did I put it? Dang it, where did I put it? I've set up my show or my comic that they're in the same, I don't know, maybe it's just not showing up. Set up all of the uniforms to be the same way as they were in the original Star Trek. So there's line uniforms or line officers of the line, and then there are those who are in the reserve or non-line officers, and then I have the third ones are mission specialists. So the blue shirts would have been mission specialists. Why are you not copying you? That's weird. Oh, is it under? That's why it's under. I see it. Nope. Where'd it go? Oh, it must be. All of this must be underneath everything. And I'll bet you that's what's going on. I'll bet you that's why. Okay. So we have line and then reserve. And then submission specialist. Oh, man. And I'm just going to copy mission specialist. And that way I'll have a, well, no. And then we don't want to do that actually. We want to just go on ahead and just put military to be white. Which I guess we will just duplicate it so that I know that I have a spot here for white, but we don't need it because you just note that there's nothing there. Then the next thing is the emergency lines, which should be also T2, maybe T4. We didn't look at those. If we were to say that those were T4, what does that look like? Yep, that's that. That's the one. T2000. It's funny because I think Pepper and I were having a long discussion over which is better, the N series or the T series of markers, because actually I don't think I'll mind them being 4. I think 4 will work just fine. Because the N series of markers is neutral and the T series is slightly red or slightly, as opposed to the C series, which is slightly blue or cool. And the N series is neutral, true neutral, which I don't find it to be as true neutral. But this becomes one of those arguments over, your eyesight, so to speak. Each artist has a slightly different view on color, slightly different. And the gray is the one spot where Pepper and I really see something completely different in our colors. And that's funny because it's interesting that that's the way it sort of expresses on this. The T series to me looks more neutral than the N series. And so that's okay. But my feeling here is that I think we can still stay with T4 as the emergency orange there. I would like it to be brighter and everything, but the truth is it's orange. It's safety orange. So I don't think that's going to be any different. So let's go ahead and just take one of these guys right here. It says emergency. And actually, well, we'll take the emergency. And I'm doing this in the order of which I color uniforms. So metals are copy. And paste their T2s. So I know you're kind of like, well, why are you doing it like this? Well, you know what? That's awesome. I'm glad that you like her. She's sort of, we're stuck with her for a while. So I'm glad you like her. She's got a long history ahead of us. She's the main character. So I hope you're not alone on the people who think she's cool. There's her gold. So these are the emergency, the metals, and the gold. And then we'll go back and do skin tones. Now, Mirelle definitely is a darker color. The question really is, do I want her to be this dark? Because when we get into here, the color codes are saying that she's T5. I'm going to leave Chang actually not T2. I'm going to make her just 0. Makes it easier because I'm noticing one very important thing. She's got these freckles. And when we tone her face and hit the tone button, the dots obscure her freckles. So we're going to leave Chang with clear so that she doesn't have any color codes going for her. Her eyes are going to be black effectively when we get into that code because really, if you look, there's just not a lot of toning going on there. But I do like that Mirelle is a mid-color darker. But I think she might be too dark here. Pocket Commander. She's a Pocket Commander. So I'm kind of feeling a little like she might be too dark because I've got her set for T5. And let's take a look at T5. Right? Whoops. Right, that does the same color code. And you can see it here. Although it's slightly lighter, actually. T5 is slightly lighter. I love, by the way, the tone button. Just kills me every time. I love this tone button. Let's go ahead and fix Chang so that she doesn't look strange when we do this. And then hit the tone button. So, man, she looks ghost-like, doesn't she? Maybe we do want some tone on there. Because she looks like a ghost. I'm gonna have to consider this. Anyway, but we do get a lot more out of, I mean, we still retain, well, I think part of the reason she looks like a ghost is because I've still got all of her normal colors in for her eyes and everything like that, which we wouldn't have if we weren't toned. Oh, yeah, we don't want to do that. We want to do this. There we go. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's take all the tone out of her real quick here so we make sure that there's nothing weird in there, because that part of that's going to happen because of that. And her hair probably won't come out in this darker tone either. Because her dress black should be in black. And her hair should be in black. And so her hair is expressing in a different color out here too. Because it's coming out not as black. If we had her hair as black, like so, then it would express differently in tone. So that's a thing. But again, not only do we have sort of a difference in color code here, which makes her look so much more dramatically dark, and her hair is also black in tone. The color codes that we use for color are completely different. So let's try a lighter one. We've got a couple of lighter options here. We've got T4, so we can bring her up to T4. Oops. And see if that looks better. That looks better in tone, I think. Right there. Maybe T4, maybe a little lighter even than that. I don't have a T3 in here. Let's get a T3. Did I make a T3? I did. Okay. Let's bring a T3 over and take a look. Nope. And we can go all the way up to T2 if we have to. George. Dr. Lawson is a dark black. And so, like a very dark brown person. So we really want to make that dramatic. There we go. That's not so bad. I think I want her to be a T3 because she's like Indian, Middle Eastern, Indian, Pakistani, kind of in that zone. That's the color coding we've got for her. Her eyes are a green. And so I kind of want to, because see, this is hard to tell that her eyes are green. So on the same token, I'm thinking her eyes should be a T2, like so. And her lips should be a T4. So we kind of that effect, right? And that's what I'm thinking she should look like. She's dark enough that you can tell she's dark. And then her eyes are light, right? So that gives a good contrast. Contrast to these two characters that I like. And then we can reserve dark like this. And no, now that I look at it, I'm like, but I kind of like her being that dark. This still feels right. Weird. Okay. Let's try T5. I mean, that's T8, T4, T6, T5. One more try at T5. I don't know. Maybe she just is, and I shouldn't complain and fight it. Don't fight it. Sometimes my instincts are right. Yeah, no, I think my instincts are right. I'll just leave her the way she was. I think I still want to make her eyes brighter, though, because I like the idea that she's got the bright eyes, the very, very shocking eyes. There was a famous picture of a girl in Afghanistan from National Geographic, an Afghani girl. She was in school at the time or whatever, and there was, all the trouble was going on, and the photographer snapped a picture of her, and yada yada yada, and she had these shocking green eyes and the darker skin, and it looked so cool, and it was such an amazingly interesting contrast. And I thought, we don't ever see sort of those shocking green eyes and the darker skin tones, because the darker skin tones tend to go with brown eyes and brown hair, mostly because these blue eyes are actually a defect. It's just not a defective gene that hurts human beings' abilities to reproduce. So it doesn't do any damage to anything, but the majority, the default for human beings is brown eyes, dark skin, dark hair, and all of this other coloration is the genes expressing in different ways or getting mutated in different ways. So it's very rare to find a darker skin with a lighter eyes, which is a great combination and very rare. So I was kind of thinking that once you start mixing all the people back together again, you're going to start seeing expressions of all of the different types of skins. Kind of layer check, cough, cough, cough. Yes, I have the layer check button. One of the reasons I'm not doing anything very serious today is that I am still feeling kind of head cottony. My head's still full of cotton, and I'm still kind of feeling ugh. And I'm a little hungover from the NyQuil, and so I'm doing something not serious so that if I screw up, it's not going to be that big of a deal. So I think we're going to leave her skin where it was. I think actually I'm just going to trust that I know what I'm doing. So we're going to go for, not there, here. Skin and lips. We'll do skin first. Well, no, we start with Chang. Chang is 0, and her lips are T5, which I'm actually going to make her lips T2. Okay. Yeah, like it is a wonderful. I heard the boot up of somebody joining, but I don't see them over here on my board. Now I see Brian on my board. Whoa. Green sun, huh?
Why am I not hearing you?
I can hear you now. Hey, look, you got the thing all fixed. Look at you. You fixed it, Brian. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Brian? Hello.
Hello. There
Can
we
you
go.
hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay, good. You got the thing fixed. You got your OBS fixed.
Yes, I did.
And you did it even without me, which is good.
And I'm not sure what I did.
That's all right. You did it.
It's that old programmer joke, is it's working and I don't know why.
Right. Right. I'm with you. So
how are you doing?
I have a horrible hangover from NyQuil. I've been taking NyQuil every night because I'm trying to get over this head cold. And so this morning I am not, my head's just stuffy and stuff like that. And I've also blown a lot of crud out of my head. So I am still feeling that head cold, but it's going away. It's just, this is the way it always goes with me with head colds. And it really makes me mad. It's like, I get it really bad for one day. Then the next day I feel better. And then the next day I feel a little bit worse, but I'm okay. And then the next day I'm better. And the next day I'm kind of like, ugh. And it's like it does these waves as it slowly gets over, and it takes me about a week. And then I have the cough forever.
Yeah.
And it's so frustrating. It's like, So anyway, I'm trying not to do anything important. This is a short show, so we only have about 20 minutes left before I have to switch over to Geek Tank, and then I'll let Troy and Alex run the show for the day.
There you go.
How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Got breakfast done, and now I am working on the comic.
And the dog.
And the dog barking in the background because she sees a truck.
And
so she
it's a
must
truck.
lose her mind.
Right, because trucks, man.
Yeah. The trash men are the worst, man. They come in, they steal our trash. Someone has to protect us from this crap.
Right, exactly. I mean, what kind of person are we if we're letting them just steal our trash? So, I had this idea last night that if I went ahead and put codes over here on the side, then whenever I get to color coding or coloring the page, all I have to do is just right mouse click on these codes over here on the background of the manga page in order. Here's the uniform color, and then here are all the division colors, and then here's all of the bits and pieces, and then all the skin colors for each character. And then all I have to do is just go through and just tap, and then tap, 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 tap. All the things are in the same uniform. Tap, and then tap, 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 tap. Everything like that. So, yeah, literally anything. Is this Armageddon? So that's what I'm doing. Is I had this idea last night, and I was like, I should have done this before. So I think what I have done with Angie Bennett is that her left eye is always perpetually just a black, and her right eye is open or white. And then Mayrell's both eyes are white, and then Chang Li both eyes are black. And that's how I make all three of my characters different. My mains.
Do they look similar outside of that?
They don't look similar necessarily, but I like to make them as obviously different as possible. So I've been doing this with the toning. So that you know about toning, right? In Clip Studio, this tone button.
Yes, we've had long discussions about the tone button.
So what I'm doing today is just doing a check before I start doing actual pages and toning in, because toning now is really stupid simple. You just grab a gray tone, color the thing in gray, and then hit the tone button, and it turns it into tone, right? So I'm just checking all of the things and see where they look in tone. So I'm clicking my tone button here and just kind of going, okay, well, Mayrell's skin is darker. It actually has horrible moire on your monitor out there while you're watching the show, but I promise you it does not look this moire on here. Nor does it look this moire. Yeah. Nor does it look this moire whenever you're printed. But looking at, it's hard to really see, but when you look at manga, I'm going to see if I can't pull up my main monitor here. And
by the way, do you read that one-shot manga that got published yesterday?
No.
The Goodbye Eri.
You can kind of see the moire in there, or you can kind of see the dot pattern. So yeah. This is Macross. Of course, Macross, because I carry Macross with me everywhere. Macross is a thing, and it's one of my favorites ever that has ever existed. So anyway, that's what we're doing here. And what was the one shot? What?
There's a one-shot manga that was released by the creator of Chainsaw Man. It's called Goodbye Eerie.
Huh.
Really, really good.
Sounds eerie to me. And that was when you
I
decided to
really
just...
recommend it.
I see. Okay. And you're like, and I recommend you stop making jokes about it. Really recommend you stop making jokes about it.
No,
No.
it's just I can't
know me too
react
well.
to them.
Yep, you're just not going to react.
Well, no, I can't react because if I react, I give spoilers away.
Oh, I see. I see what you're saying. Okay. Okie dokie. Now, what I have done here is this. So now I'm going to switch these all down. And we're going to do this. And I'm going to go over here. And I'm just going to color or write in all the correct words for this. Alrighty. Airborne will work. And then, you're going to do that. Pine, not line. So how you doing this morning there, Brian?
I'm awake.
You know what? I'm considering myself lucky that that's where I am this morning, too. I'm just going to take line. Did I misspell line?
I had no idea. Did you misspell it?
I don't know. I'm having that moment where it doesn't look right. My brain is really not online. Speaking of line.
Are you doing lime as in the fruit or line as in...
As in like a line of people.
It's Line.
Okay, good. Then I just having problems. Brain issues. Like it looks wrong. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know
I've
how...
had those times.
Yeah, like when you're talking about like, chair looks weird at some point in time, you're like, well, okay. Guess I spelled it right, but I spelled it CHAIR, and that looks wrong,
I hate the one in which you go, I know I've spelled this right, but this looks wrong. And then you try every other combination, and it still looks wrong.
Right?
So then you go back to the correct spelling, and even the spell checker is telling you, no, dude, you're good. And it still looks wrong.
Right?
You put a lime in the coconut and drink the bowl up.
Yep.
Oh, don't futz with me today.
Right? Nope. "10 minutes to Geek Tank." And we've got only about 10 minutes left. What you doing today? You made it to a Monday show. Good job, by the way.
Yeah, a very rare Monday show.
Yeah, because we're gonna. Oh man, what is my problem? Boy, I am not on or with it today.
So today is going to feature mainly me trying to get another page done of this.
Yeah, got 9 minutes left. 8 minutes left.
Eh. Hey, at
It's
least
all right.
I'm getting
It's
something out.
Yeah, right. I'm good with this. There's no problem at all. No issue.
Do you hear that HBO wants to make an It TV series?
It sounds
Welcome
horrible.
called Welcome to Derry.
It sounds really bad. Yeah, that's funny. Okay. Feel kind of like what I want to do here is merge all these together. Okay. And I can just take all these and raise them up until they're right against the side. And then bring it down so that that's in between the two of them, like so. And then I just run down the line to color everybody. That's all right. You can catch it in the rewatch. But thank you, Brent. Okay.
I don't know why, but I thought Brent was a part of the Geek Tank.
He is sometimes.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes we bring Brent on board to do stuff with us because he has a lot of knowledge in home automation, things like that. And so we bring Brent on board to do a lot of talking about how to do home automation, stuff that's geeky like that. So yeah. Okay, well, I'm kind of liking where I headed with this. This looks really cool. I'll put Bennett right down here with her main colors. And then I think that will be what I'm going to do. And then maybe I'll just put it like a generic 1 through 10 over here. And that'll give me the ability to tap into different colors if I need to when I get to that stage. Do you see where I was on the on the starships? Like I've got this really cool dock going now. where I'm
No, I
working
have
on
not seen it. Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I actually have like a destroyer sitting in the bay here. This is the next ship up. Someday, Chang will be in charge of this ship, a ship like this, a destroyer. But not today. Not for a while in the comic. For right now, she's in charge of this little guy down here.
Oh, so I wanted to get your opinion on something.
Uh-huh.
And this would affect you as much as it would affect me. What do you think about selling our comics, the physical print of our comics, through an Etsy store?
Huh. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I actually wouldn't mind that at all. That might. So I've actually been thinking about changing this show to be Quasar Art Collective. Quack.
Quack.
Because that was the name that we'd come up with that I thought was so funny. Because Quasar Art Collective would be QAC and it becomes Quack. And I think that's funny because then you've already made the space duck for it.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think that wouldn't be bad if we set up an Etsy store called Quasar Art Collective. You know what I mean? And sold, like all of us sold it through there, you're thinking?
Yeah, something like that.
Or, yeah. I'll lay that down a little there. Quack, right? I mean, like, and it would just, I mean, we're ducks, and it makes total stupid sense. I don't know why. Space ducks sounds funny to me. I don't know. Space ducks just sounded funny. Anyway. But then I can make a new opening for this show called Quasar Art Collective, and it wouldn't matter whether it was you and me, or whether it was me and Raph, or you and Raph, or George. I mean, George could just run the whole show by himself because he's a cat. You know.
And he would probably have people watching than the rest of us.
Probably. He'd
Combined.
be much more popular than the rest of us. So I like that idea. Let's talk more about that tomorrow, though. Because I've got to get going so I can head over so we can start on time for Geek Tink. So thanks for joining me, Brian. And thanks for joining me, Brent, Ghost Hand, and Andrew. It was good to see you, my friend. Andrew is a local buddy of mine. So the rest of you guys, keep your eyes on the stars. Bye-bye.
Computer, good night.